Cardinals fans are perplexed by something right now. And it's not just how the Cardinals managed to lose to the 1-11-1 Lions. 2-11-1 Lions now. No, it's what's going on with first-round pick Zaven Collins. After he was selected in the first round, Steve Keim came out and said he would be the starting Mike linebacker. Apparently, he wanted to correct the wrongs that happened last year with first-round pick Isaiah Simmons sitting on the bench. Well, Vance Joseph apparently didn't see it that way, and Zaven Collins has not been a starter. But he was a part of the rotation until about week 8. So Cardinals fans are frustrated because it seems like another first-round pick is riding the bench, and with the struggles in the run game and the thoughts that Zaven Collins might be part of the solution for that, fans are even more frustrated by this. In this video, I'm going to look at some of the things that have gone on with Collins this year and try to make at least a little bit of sense of his situation. Now, the first thing we have to understand is regardless of what Steve Keim had in mind when drafting Collins, Vance Joseph has favored Jordan Hicks for one reason or other. It could be that he just likes the veteran presence of Hicks, his leadership, something he brings on the field, though there have been some questions about Hicks' play, especially against the run game, that have led a lot of Cardinals fans to wonder why. But for whatever reason, Vance Joseph wants Hicks in the starting lineup. And Isaiah Simmons has also earned a starting role. So Hicks is a starting Mike linebacker, Simmons is a starting Will linebacker. And Collins, though, was still getting snaps. He was in the rotation. He was the first man off the bench as a middle linebacker. But as you see, looking at this graph, his snaps have declined over the course of the season. Now, some have compared his situation to Isaiah Simmons last year and just thought, okay, he's getting the rookie treatment from Vance Joseph. But if you compare Isaiah Simmons' snaps during his rookie season, as I've done on this overlay, you see a very different pattern emerging. Simmons started out with few snaps and earned them over the course of the season. With Collins, it's like the opposite is going on. He started out getting some snaps and lost them. Vance Joseph was asked about Zaven Collins recently, and in an article on azcardinals.com, he is quoted as saying, "The problem with Zaven is he is a backup Mike and a backup Will. To put him on the field, someone has to leave. And right now we have 11 guys we feel good about. That's the problem. He's fine and he's still in a good place right now. He's waiting for a chance to play, but right now he's a backup." That's all fine and well, but Collins was a backup before when he was getting 25-30 snaps a game. Why is it that he's not seeing the field at all on defense? To get a better idea of what's going on, let's look at the snaps by all middle linebackers over the course of the season. Now in this graph, you see the snaps by week for all the middle linebackers on the roster. Obviously, Hicks and Simmons have dominated the snaps as the starters. And for the sake of this exercise, let's take them out of the equation and just look at the snaps by backup middle linebackers. When you look at just the backups, you see that Zaven Collins was getting the most snaps all the way through week 7. But something happened in week 8 against the Packers. Collins suffered a shoulder injury in the first quarter of the week 8 game against the Packers. And you see that from the point he was injured during that game in week 8, through week 10, Tanner Vallejo had taken over Zaven Collins' snaps. So this seems understandable. If Collins was banged up, it's reasonable that the Cardinals would go to the next man up and get Vallejo in there. Now, Vallejo himself got injured and went on the IR. But you see from week 11 on, they didn't replace Vallejo with Collins or anyone else. So this is the part that's perplexing. It makes sense that they would give Collins a chance to heal up and play Vallejo for the few weeks that followed his injury. But when Vallejo got injured, why didn't they bring Collins in for more snaps? Part of the problem is that Collins hasn't been playing well since he's been injured. In fact, if you look at his PFF grades by week, you see that he graded pretty well over his first 7 games. But his grades steadily declined following the injury, and in whatever snaps he has seen since that, he has not graded well. So since Vallejo has been put on the IR, it seems like the Cardinals' only options have been a banged up Zaven Collins who hasn't been playing well, or Joe Walker, a guy that they've had on the roster before but hasn't played particularly well himself. Altogether, it seems like the Cardinals have just decided that they're better off playing their 2 starting linebackers and playing more nickel and getting safeties out there on the field and not bringing in a 3rd linebacker. Now, there's still some legitimate questions why they didn't play him more earlier in the season, especially when you consider how well he's been grading according to PFF. But for whatever reason, Vance Joseph prefers to stick with his veterans, wanted to bring Collins along slowly, but the injury has hampered his ability to see the field. But take heart, Cardinals fans. Collins did play well when he was healthy earlier in the season. And I think the likely outcome is going to be that he might get a few more snaps this year, and next year he's going to come in and probably be that starting Mike linebacker. And if his performance before he got injured is any indicator, he's probably going to be pretty good in that role. So don't bail on Collins yet. I don't think he's a bust. I think he's going to be good, but he needs to get healthy and he needs to earn that starting role probably next season. If you found this video to be informative, please do me a favor and click like. And also, if you're a Cardinals fan, subscribe to my channel. I post Cardinals related content every week and I think you'll enjoy my channel. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time on The Cardinal Rule.